There is one specific part of a woman's body that she will never, and I mean never, let just anyone touch. Not a stranger, not a coworker, not even a close friend. But the moment she lets you touch it, without hesitation, without pulling back, without even a flicker of discomfort, she has already made her decision about you. Silently, completely, and most men walk right past that signal without ever knowing it existed. By the time this video ends, you will never miss it again. And here is why you should listen closely. I am a woman. Everything you are about to hear comes directly from the side of the equation you have been trying to figure out your whole life. No guesswork, no bro advice, just the honest truth about how women think, feel, and signal through touch. Consider this your insider advantage. Let's get into it. A landmark study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences did something remarkable. Researchers mapped exactly which parts of the human body people allow others to touch, and it changed based entirely on the emotional bond between them. The findings were eye-opening. Strangers, hands, arms, and shoulders only. Friends got slightly more access. But certain zones on a woman's body, those were locked, reserved exclusively for one person, a romantic partner she had chosen. Now here's the part most men completely miss. While you are obsessing over whether she texted back fast or laughed at your joke, she is already sending you a signal 1,000 times louder than any text message. And that signal has nothing to do with words. It has everything to do with where she lets your hands go. I am going to walk you through each zone today, starting from the ones that signal basic comfort, building all the way up to the one specific place that, if she lets you touch it, tells you absolutely everything. And that final zone, most men never even think about it. So stay with me, because the order matters, and the last one changes everything. Let's start with the most misread signal in the history of dating, the shoulder touch. You put your hand on her shoulder, and suddenly you think you are the main character of a romantic movie. Slow down. The shoulder is what I call the public zone. Your boss touches it. Your uncle squeezes it at family dinners. It means she is comfortable with you the way she is comfortable with a friendly neighbor. That is it. Oxford Social Touch research confirms that the shoulder falls into the lowest intimacy category of body contact. It is the handshake of physical touch. Does it mean she dislikes you? No. But if the shoulder is the only place she allows contact, you are still standing outside the door. You have not been invited in yet. Too many men build entire fantasy relationships off a shoulder touch that meant absolutely nothing. Read the room, not the shoulder. Now we move slightly down, and the temperature starts to shift. When a woman allows a lingering, relaxed hold on her upper arm, not a quick tap, but a real, comfortable touch, something has changed. She has mentally moved you out of the random guy category. Behavioral psychologist Dr. Albert Shefflin found that sustained touch on the upper arm often accompanies what he called quasi-courtship cues, signals of attraction that haven't fully committed yet. She is testing the waters. She is running a background check on how your touch makes her feel. Here is the tell. You rest your hand on her upper arm while making a point in conversation, and she does not pull away. She does not stiffen. She actually leans in slightly. That lean is not an accident. Her nervous system just responded positively to you, and her body followed without her even realizing it. You are no longer a stranger. You are someone she is considering. And before we go deeper, if this is already making you see things differently, subscribe right now. I break down female psychology in ways most people will never tell you. Hit that button and don't miss the next one. Now this is where it gets serious. The lower back is one of the most psychologically loaded areas on a woman's body. And here is why. It is a part of her body she cannot see. When your hand is there, she cannot watch it. Allowing you there means she trusts what she cannot control. Evolutionary psychologists connect this to something ancient. Thousands of years ago, allowing someone near your back meant trusting them not to harm you from a position you could not defend. That instinct is still hardwired into every woman alive today. Modern translation: if you guide her through a doorway with your hand on her lower back, and instead of stepping forward to break contact, she melts into it, she is telling you something enormous without a single word. She feels safe with you. A study from the University of Gothenburg found that touch in this area between potential romantic partners triggers increased oxytocin production, the bonding hormone. Her brain is literally rewarding her for being near you. But here is the mistake men make. They feel her acceptance and immediately push further, hand sliding toward the waist like it is prom night. Do not do that. Let the lower back moment breathe. Let her come to you for the next level. Rush it. and the trust you just earned disappears in 3 seconds. When a woman allows your hands to rest on her waist, not a 2-second hover, a real comfortable hold, you have entered territory she does not open to casual acquaintances. The Finnish Touch study found that the waist is almost exclusively reserved for romantic partners and very close family. But here is what nobody talks about. Pay attention to what she does when your hands are there. Does she place her hands on your chest? Does she step closer? Does she look up at you with that specific, soft, unguarded look, where every wall she normally holds up is just gone? If yes, she is not just letting you in. She is pulling you in. The waist is a two-way signal. When she accepts your touch and responds with her own, you are both silently agreeing to something. No contract was signed, but both of you know exactly what is happening. Mutual selection. You chose her, and she is choosing you back. Now we enter the highest trust zones, and this is where things get emotionally raw. When a woman lets you touch her face, cup her cheek, brush hair from her eyes, gently tilt her chin, she has dropped every wall she owns. Think about it from her side. The face is identity. It is where every emotion lives. It is the most exposed part of who she is. Letting your hand rest there is an act of complete emotional surrender. Dr. Docker Keltner at UC Berkeley studied this in depth. His research shows that gentle facial touch activates specific nerve fibers called C-tactile afferents. Fibers that respond only to slow, tender strokes and send signals directly to the brain's emotional processing centers. Not the logical centers, the feeling ones. So when you tuck a strand of hair behind her ear, she might be mid-sentence, completely composed, and she just stops. Her brain rerouted. You spoke a language that goes deeper than any word ever could. And if she closes her eyes when you touch her face, that is not just trust, that is devotion. She has willingly switched off her primary sense, sight, to exist fully in the feeling of your presence. Do not ever take that lightly. If you are finding this valuable, and I can tell you are still here, do me a favor and subscribe. Every week I go this deep into psychology, attraction, and what women actually think. You do not want to miss it. And now the one I have been building toward this entire video. The one specific place that, if she lets you touch it, tells you she is yours. The neck. Here is why the science behind this is so powerful. The neck is one of the most vulnerable areas on the human body. Major arteries run through it. The throat houses the ability to breathe and to speak. From a pure survival standpoint, the neck is the very last place any living creature willingly exposes to another. Watch any nature documentary. An animal only exposes its neck to something it trusts completely, or has chosen entirely. That instinct is still inside every human being on the planet. Body language expert Dr. Lillian Glass, who has worked with the FBI, states that the neck is one of the strongest indicators of comfort and deep attraction. When a woman tilts her head to expose her neck to you, that is a signal as old as humanity itself. And when she lets you actually touch it, your hand resting on the back of her neck, fingers grazing the side of her throat, a gentle touch along her nape, she has given you access to the one part of her body she would instinctively protect from anyone she does not completely trust. Here is what makes the neck different from every zone before it. The shoulder is social, the arm is curious, the lower back is trusting, the waist is mutual, the face is emotional, but the neck is primal. It is the deepest level of vulnerability a woman can offer through physical touch, and she will only offer it to someone who has earned every other level first. A 2015 study in psychological science confirmed that touch in high vulnerability areas, the neck being the strongest, triggered the deepest pair bonding responses between partners. Stronger than holding hands, stronger than hugging. And I will tell you this from personal experience and from every honest conversation I have had with other women. When a man's hand finds the back of your neck and it feels right, something shifts inside you permanently. It is not just an attraction anymore. It is an attachment. It is the feeling of, I am his and he is mine. That is why I said it in the title. If a woman lets you touch her neck, she is yours. Because women do not offer that place to just anyone. We offer it to the person we have chosen at the deepest level we are capable of choosing. Now, I would be doing you a serious disservice if I only showed you the green lights without warning you about the red ones. Because misreading these signals can cost you everything. If a woman physically moves your hand away from any of these zones, do not try again. That is not playing hard to get. That is a boundary. And boundaries are not challenges to overcome. They are lines to respect. Research from the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that rejected touch attempts were the single strongest predictor that a person was not romantically interested, stronger than a verbal rejection. Because words can be polite, the body does not lie. If you reach for her lower back and she steps forward, that is a no. If you move toward her face and she turns away, that is a no. If you go anywhere near her neck and she tenses, covers it, or pulls back, that is the loudest no a woman's body can communicate. Listen to it, respect it. Walk away with your dignity fully intact. The ability to read these signals correctly is what separates a man she feels safe with from a man she feels threatened by. And trust me, women talk. How you handle rejection defines your reputation far more than how you handle success. One final thing I need you to understand. These zones are not a menu you can skip around. They are a ladder. And you have to climb it one rung at a time. The men who destroy their chances are the ones trying to jump from shoulder to neck in one evening. That is not confidence. That is tone deafness. A woman's trust builds incrementally. Every zone you are welcomed into is a reward for how you behaved in the zone before it. She let you touch her arm, and you were respectful, gentle, present. You passed. Now she might let you try the lower back. You placed your hand there and did not immediately push further. Round 2, passed. Relationship therapist Esther Perel says it perfectly. Eroticism thrives in the space between security and surprise. She needs to feel safe enough to allow escalation, but she also needs each new touch to carry a spark of intention. That balance between safety and desire is what makes your touch intoxicating instead of invasive. Be patient, let her set the pace, and pay attention to her responses at every single level. Because the man who can read a woman's body language correctly and respond with patience and intention, that man is rarer than you think. And that man is the one she will let touch her neck. So let me bring this full circle. Touch is the most honest language two people can speak. Words can be rehearsed, texts can be edited, but the body responds in real time. And it does not know how to fake what it truly feels. The shoulder tells you she tolerates you. The arm tells you she is curious. The lower back tells you she trusts you. The waist tells you she wants you close. The face tells you she is emotionally open. And the neck tells you she is yours. But knowing where she lets you touch is only half of the equation. The other half, honestly the more dangerous half, is knowing how you touch her. Because there is one specific thing men do when they hug a woman that instantly kills attraction, destroys trust, and makes her never want to be touched by you again. And most men do it every single time, without even realizing it. I broke it all down in the next video right here. When you go to hug a woman, never do this. If you just spent this entire video learning the zones, you cannot afford to throw it all away with one bad hug. That video is the second half of this lesson. And honestly, it might be more important than what you just learned. Click it now before you miss it.